Look, Canelo's not the only choice. That's the first choice, but it's not the only choice. Billy Joe Saunders is a huge fight over in the UK. Danny Jacobs is a huge fight in New York City. Gilberto Ramirez is a huge fight in Texas. So there's a lot of options for him right now, and we just have to go step by step. Then we have to look at the options. We have to look at Danny Jacobs. We have to look at potentially moving up to 168 if Ramirez will take the fight. Look, that's a situation where Bob reached out to see if we were interested, but there's no guarantee that Ramirez, like Bob wanted to make the Chavez fight too, and Chavez didn't take the fight. So there's no guarantee Ramirez will take the fight, even at 168. That's the problem where a lot of people say, why don't you move up to 168? But look, whether it's DeGale, whether it was Arthur Abraham would never fight Gennady, even if we went to Germany. So there's no guarantees of that, and that's why his focus has always been to unify the middleweight division. If we don't get a champion, then we'll have to look at all the different options.
Is it possible that would just be a one-time thing, and then he would drop back down?
No, I've always said that. I mean, he's a small middleweight. He came in at 159, and that he would do that. He wouldn't move to 168 for a fight and then stay there if he can cut off the ring. That's where Gennady comes in, where it doesn't matter what style. He's one of the best fighters I've ever seen that cuts off the ring the way he does. And that's why he's always in a position to either deliver his punch or to slip a punch. And
how challenging.
For a Danny Jacobs fight, I think that's a great fight. Look, Danny made a huge statement by, anytime you can beat Peter Quillin in one round by knockout, that's a big statement. We were at the WBA convention in Panama. Danny Jacobs is the regular champion. Gennady's the super champion for the WBA. So that's a fight that would naturally make a lot of sense, especially in New York. I know Madison Square Garden has huge interest in that fight. If Gennady can sell out the Garden against David Lemieux, if he fights Danny Jacobs, who's a native of New York, I mean that's a big fight. That I could see that being on pay-per-view, and I think that would be a fight that could be made if we couldn't make either Canelo or Billy Joe Saunders.
Speaking of Danny Jacobs, he's an Al Haymon fighter as well as Dominic Wade. How hard was it to get a deal done with an Al Haymon fighter on the HBO tonight?
Well, I got to tell you that when Wade was named the mandatory, there was no hesitation from Tom Brown's standpoint. We literally took about a week to work out the deal, and I know Al had signed off on that, and HBO recognizes, look, it's a mandatory obligation, and so I have a good relationship with Al. I've known him for a number of years, so there's my job as a promoter for Gennady is to get the best fights in the ring. This was a mandatory fight, so we had to do it. So it doesn't matter which promoter. I probably worked with 9 different promoters in his since he's fought here on the States, and it's just a matter of, doesn't matter who the promoter is, doesn't matter who the manager is. If we can make the fight with Danny Jacobs, that's a great fight.
What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. As you guys can see, I'm on Danny Jacobs, his verified Twitter account. Make sure you give him a follow at Daniel Jacobs TKO on social media. Now, the regular WBA championship is held by Danny Jacobs, who just put to bed the Sergio Mora saga, and it ended in a more traditional way than the first fight. He knocked him down, I believe, 5 times, got the stoppage. Now, Golovkin just fought Kell Brook, beat him in 5 rounds, shattered his eye socket, or fractured it, and he called him out. I made a video about it. Now, this is what he put today. It's a picture of the two of them, and it says, "We want to fight the best, period. Triple G is the best, and that's the guy we want." So I want to talk about this again briefly. I heard the WBA ordered this particular fight. I love it. I think this is, I guess, the gift and the curse when it comes to the Kell Brook fight. Most people thought Brook was way out of his league and he would get smoked. Some people even said first round stoppage. He was not big enough, even though he was trying to pack on weight and stuff like that. But he did good for himself. In fact, I believe 2 of the 3 judges had Brook up in the fight, right? Needless to say, it wasn't Golovkin's strongest performance, and I think he even admits that. He says after the fact that none of the punches hurt him and stuff. You guys can believe whatever you want, and it seems like with Golovkin, diehard Radical fans, it seems like they're willing to believe anything. But I'm telling you from a real perspective, if Golovkin is just allowing people to tee off on his chin just for shits and giggles to entertain, that is perhaps some of the most absurd and dumb things that I've heard a fighter do. I don't believe that's the case. I think Kell Brook, he's pretty crafty in there, good skill set, and he was able to rip and string off combinations. But I don't think Golovkin was allowing for it because he was a smaller guy or because he didn't respect his power. I think it was just, that's how the fight went, you know what I'm saying? But if you guys will believe whatever you want, bottom line is, through that vulnerability, like Triple G's own promoter is saying, maybe that has given people the courage to step up and want to fight Golovkin because maybe they feel he was exposed. There's a lot of people that are saying that, right? You guys tell me in the comment section what you think. But this is turning out to be a good thing because Golovkin and team, who's complained about getting those tough fights and he wants to unify, now you got actual champions in your division calling you out for the first time. Now, I know how boxing fans work. I know how casuals work. I've been doing this too long. A lot of people are going to focus on, I've given the criticism to Danny Jacobs and Billy Joe Saunders and Canelo as far as avoid, and Miguel Cotto and Sergio Martinez. I know who and when people avoided Golovkin. So he has been avoided by some people. People were like, oh, I need more money and you got to make sure I'm cashed out. Like, when you're talking like that, it sounds kind of suspect. But at this point, people want to see Golovkin step up, fight a real size person, help his goal to unifying, and there's a ton of great fights. I have a poll on my channel. Make sure you guys participate and vote, and then I will announce the results of that after I tally and calculate everything. But there's a video on my page. I'll try to put it at the end of this particular video so you can click on it. And again, this is a good thing because as far as I can see, the next fight, because Triple G says he wants to fight 3 times this year, it's looking like it's probably going to be a good fight with at least a middleweight. You know what I'm saying? I don't think he'll go up to 168, but possibly. You know what I mean? So the people, Eubank, Danny Jacobs, and also Billy Joe Saunders, those are all great fights. I don't think Canelo wants to fight him this year or his team. So I'm okay with any of those 3 fights. You guys vote and let me know what you like. But it looks like people are starting to see maybe there's a way to beat Golovkin, even if they're wrong. Some people think Danny Jacobs goes in there and gets smoked. Nonetheless, I like it. I like that he's being vocal about it. I like that Billy Joe Saunders, I did a video about that, he's being vocal about wanting Golovkin. So this is what Golovkin wanted. He wants to unify the division. He wants to fight the best. He wants to fight people, and everyone was running scared. So again, you can be hung up on Danny Jacobs and his money request, or Peter Quillen vacated his belt, or Billy Joe Saunders seemed scared and, oh, I want a couple things me way and all this. But at the end of the day, these guys are now saying they want it. See what they're talking about. Drop in the comment section. Let me know what you guys think. Also, make sure you participate in the Ego Poll 2.0. Great fights that can be made. This is a big East Coast fight if Danny Jacobs happens. The UK fights with Eubank or Billy Joe Saunders, these are all good fights. Let me know what you think. Drop it in the comment section. Make sure you like my video as always. Hate, comment, and subscribe. Till next video is Ego signing off.